I slunk out to the marketplace. A captain looked up as if he well knew my previous tortures showed in my face. If I didn't want more, I should vacate his view. I implored every stranger I saw, but all just ignored my obvious pleas. As curfew approached, I fled those great walls, preferring to sleep in the damp with the fleas. And here I return, half starved and half drowned, but never again will I leave. To avoid all the evils of cities and towns, our rights should be followed to show we believe. The old ways are best, this I have learned, so bring out your sickle and robes. Just one sacrifice left and favor is earned, and once more our harvest will grow. And once more our harvest will grow. And once more our harvest will grow. Dallas the piper with homestead behind him scratched at the horns that grew from his head, put hoof to the soil to travel and toil deep into country where towns to paint red. And he rolled down the road at a good steady pace to escape from the worries he'd left in that place where piping caused fighting in mixed company, and a sensitive bard, not a hoplite was he. So head to the tavern and strum your cathar, for Dallas the piper has come from afar to put each of us properly under the bar. A carouser quite fit to be written in stars. From outside the islands come many strange guests that a king or a lord may need to be set. Hospitality dictates we must show respect, and music and drinking are only correct. Ladies whose properties started great wars might come for a holiday, fleeing such bores, so they might need an escort free from our moors. A talented piper our court must implore, so head to the theater and bring your cathar, for Dallas the piper has come from afar to put even this diplomat under the bar. A carousal, I'm sure, to be written in stars, up from the sea or in caverns below. Older than legend, lost terrors grow, up to Olympus where the sacred we know deserve at the least a good piping show. True heroes adventure like furies obsessed, never to settle, to give up and rest. Though keen enough bronze can solve many quests, for Titan straight fighting might not be the best. So head to Olympus, we need your cathar, for Dallas the piper has come from afar to put even the Titans under the bar. A carousing that fate would see written in stars. Head to Olympus, we need your cathar. Dallas the piper has come from afar to put even the Titans under the bar. A carousing that fate will see written in stars. Jade fade beyond sight as we peer in obsidian hall. Fragments of refuse, chalky and white, surround the strewn bones by the sacrifice wall. Runes from a time too old to be known are carved in the green malachite. They showed the first seeds Gaia gave to be sown to bestial progenitors in primeval light. The surroundings are grave, but the wall stretches on, and it tells how the first trees took hold to flourish for aeons before that red dawn, where dark brine and ruin brought horror untold. There the script changes, jagged and raw, as if a new hand went to carve. But the syntax is strange and follows no law. After that any story is pieces and shards. Runes come to an end, the mural comes in, and the sacrifice shown in detail. The cowled horned priests who brought the herd in, marks on the bones show what what that entailed. Our party is shocked, we back toward the door, but the portal is covered by bars. Obsidian Hall comes to life with a roar. There stand druids with sickles and grotesque cathars. They strum out the notes that bring madness to bear. My comrades fell in with bare hands, possessed and transformed by some curse in the lair. My friends were no longer quite woman or man. Since then I've been trapped in this windowless cell. I cannot know why I was spared. I know I look ragged, I fear for my health. I beg for my freedom, I crave the fresh air. Let me out, just open the door. Please, my fair strangers, free me from this place. I can't stand the howls that come from the floor. Let me out, or I'll gnaw off your face. Let me out, or I'll come for you all and take your dead bones to feed the great wall. Let me out, 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 let me out. The great skelly beast stood and he faced the waters that burst from the dam. As he channeled his magic, the wall was replaced. He was blasted by cheers from town woman and man. And we gathered to thank the great sky for its gifts, for this guardian solid and strong, rather than graves for our drowned goats and kids. Our warden, he rose to protect us from wrong. He roamed far and wide with a party of legend. Many were saved, but his friends had to pay. He put sorrow aside and instead tried to mend. He looked for a village who had need of his ways. Any hole could be plugged with a stout enough cork. Any dike could be mended and smoothed. He'd help mighty and rich or the impoverished short. As he knew he was needed, his ravaged heart soothed. And we gathered to thank the great sky for its gifts, for this guardian solid and strong, rather than graves for our drowned goats and kids. Our warden, he rose to protect us from wrong. For he came to our village, our backwater ditch, and he saw what great misery we kept. Our bedrock would constantly roil and shift. Because of this curse, we died and we wept. In our land he found holes that couldn't be plugged, and dams that couldn't be fixed. And he knew he was needed. With a great tortile shrug, he settled, and now we can safely exist. And we gather to thank the great sky for its gifts, for this guardian solid and strong, rather than graves for our drowned goats and kids. Our warden, he rose to protect us from wrong. And we gather to thank the great sky for its gifts, for this guardian solid and strong, rather than graves for our drowned goats and kids. Our warden, he rose to protect us from wrong. Gather, good people, the young and the old, to hear of a traveler daring and bold. He served in the wars in a great naval fleet, with cudgel and girdle and wings on his feet. They say he was born of a god or a nymph, left as a babe on a pedestal's plinth. Only the blessed had such speed and such skill, and never was seen a boy with more will. Centaur and harpy cower in fear as our hero draws near. Foes ready their spears, but he runs in with haste, and they look on his face and see that his spirit is marked by the fates. If he comes by a Cyclops, furious and red, who threatens to crush his bones into bread, our hero relies on the shape of his brain and attempts every parting with minimal pain. He knows in the past these giants were tricked, robbed of their flocks, blinded with sticks. He thinks for the grace of the gods stumble I, so even to monsters he's humble and kind. Centaur and harpy cower in fear as our hero draws near. Foes ready their spears, but he runs in with haste, and they look on his face and see that his spirit is marked by the fates. When the boy became man, with chest toned and broad, he crafted a plan to find goddess or god that left him alone with such spirit and need. He beseeched the blind poet and followed each lead. So he came to the briny caves close to the sea and saw who had spawned his divine destiny. A 20-limbed kraken with human-like hands. Though he buckled in horror, he'd soon understand. Centaur and harpy cower in fear as our hero draws near. Foes ready their spears, but he runs in with haste, and they look on his face and see that his spirit is marked by the fates. His sire or dame, he wasn't quite sure, pointed him to a shallow pool carved in the floor, and he saw as he peered in that burbling ooze, the truth of his birth was no longer confused, and he knew that he must learn and come back and teach each of his siblings, whether tadpole or leech. And he knew why he feared not what old laws forbid. Things are less fearful when your mother's a squid. Squid. Put hope in the seals to hold us through. Have faith that the keel holds up on you. Put oar to the brine, beat the drum double time. This barge is a wreck, but it must make do. It's been barely a week since we left the safe harbor to rescue the sacrifice tied to the rock. Though we killed the sea snake, our sailcloth was raked, and the wind was too mighty to row back to dock. Put hope in the seals to hold us through. Have faith that the keel holds up on you. Put oar to the brine, beat the drum double time. This barge is a wreck, but it must make do. The strain will bring end to the rostrum and rudder if we fail to contend this murderous storm. We've got just one hope in this barrel of rope. Tie pillar to pillar, put shoulder to oar. Put hope in the seals to hold us through. Have faith that the keel holds up on you. Put oar to the brine, beat the drum double time. This barge is a wreck, but it must make do. Though close, we must pass through the crushing stones that can render our ship into planks. We have to go fast if we want to get past. Pull lookout, we need every rower in rank. Put hope in the seals to hold us through. Have faith that the keel holds up on you. Put oar to the brine, beat the drum double time. This barge is a wreck, but it must make do. Put hope in the seals to hold us through. Have faith that the keel holds up on you. Put oar to the brine, beat the drum double time. This barge is a wreck, but it must make do. Put oar to the brine, beat the drum double time. This barge is a wreck, but it must make do. the city of cowards, a shady man waits. Ladies in powder selling off dates, sweet fruit for the harvest at excellent rates. A man from the mountains looking for gold, a plan hashed by the fountain for treasures of old, artifacts for the harvest by adventurers bold. Head to the bay where privateers rest, a captain to challenge in combat and best, and a crew that wants more than just gold in a chest. And these men have an excellent plan to ascend the dead hills where the steppe nomads dance, and portend what they will from their drug-induced trance. Protect innocents captured to finish a plan by a sinister man who works so he can talk to gods, never dying, but dreaming and scheming and trying to bring dust to the land. Run rugged, give all, there's lives on the line. Roads flooded, give stall, but they strive through the brine. A pursuit to the tower, arriving on time. A road madman stands, dagger in hand, but cannot withstand the mountainous man from the mountains who landed and ended the plans to bring old gods and chaos, turn castles to sand. They returned and commanded the gates to be sealed, renew the old deals, give the world time to heal, keep the gates locked and maintain the zeal, for a world still in shock is an excellent meal for chaos and madness, which must be repealed by trial and error and belief in the real. Enjoy our hospitality, our beds and bread and wine, to sleep and heal, our warmth to feel and worship our divine. Welcome here, my traveler, through rain or hazing sun, to work or trade our fields or stalls and feast when evening comes. Enjoy our hospitality, our breads and bed and wine, to feel at home although you roam is the gift of our divine. The roads are paved and safe to walk, guarded day and night. Scripts are saved to be read or taught, to know is its own delight. Enjoy our hospitality, our wine and breads and beds. Though you may leave, you'll always grieve for the life you could have here instead. Our walls are strong, our laws are fair, and they show us how to live. We all belong in each other's care, with just one life to give. Enjoy our hospitality, our sacramental wine. After one more night in the dead moon's light, you'll be born again divine. Anahita, mother of water, feeds the rivers, the brooks, and the springs. The naiads are her chosen daughters, and the sea god brings her corals and rings. Our cities were built with her blessing divine by shepherds who heard her burbling call. She showed how the heavens moved over time, and with practice we spread that knowledge to all. Anahita, mother of water, feeds the rivers, the brooks, and the springs. The naiads are her chosen daughters, and the sea god brings her corals and rings. The magi are nothing without River Mother, but when learned travelers come from the west, they walk past the shrines and don't bathe in the water, instead rubbing grease on their faces and chests. Anahita, mother of water, feeds the rivers, the brooks, and the springs. The naiads are her chosen daughters, and the sea god brings her corals and rings. We humor the men who risk such far travel, who covet our secrets for their fine polity. Cities where women are locked up like cattle, and most of the men live in bare poverty. Anahita, mother of water, feeds the rivers, the brooks, and the springs. The naiads are her chosen daughters, and the sea god brings her corals and rings. We tell them the tales we reserve for such fools, easy to check with patience and time, but philosophers fail to harness such tools, preferring instead what sounds the most fine. Anahita, mother of water, feeds the rivers, the brooks, and the springs. The naiads are her chosen daughters, and the sea god brings her corals and rings. But you, my friend, are not such a stranger. You've heeded her call with clear heart and mind. Dive in the pool, push past the danger, and you'll share in peace as only we find. Anahita, mother of water, feeds the rivers, the brooks, and the springs. The naiads are her chosen daughters, and the sea god brings her corals and rings. Anahita, mother of water, feeds the rivers, the brooks, and the springs. The naiads are her chosen daughters, and the sea god brings her corals and rings. The tale of a brave and noble wanderer who fell into a place not known by men for years, a place underground, older than time or longer, growing in our terrors and our fears. He played a golden lyre, had a voice of the stars. He trekked the world by boat, moving near and far, blessed by the gods. Thousands heard his voice. The world moved when he made that fabled choice. He joined the ranks of a famous noble vessel, manned by a crew of 50 heroic men, the son of a god, men who hunted and wrestled, some of which were never seen again. He angered the gods, and their vengeance slew his lover. A deadly nest of snakes left her body cold, though he knew in his heart he could never love another, and hatched a plan both foolish and bold. He played a golden lyre, had a voice of the stars. He trekked the world by boat, moving near and far, blessed by the gods. Thousands heard his voice. The world moved when he made that fabled choice. looking for the entrance that would take him to the darkness under the earth, braving deadly perils and a guardian immense to prove to the king and queen his worth. He moved their frozen hearts with his beautiful song. They granted him to leave with his lover and wife if he didn't look behind as he traveled.